When I discovered I had type 2 diabetes, I instantly stopped eating carbohydrates, and miraculous changes happened very quickly. It altered the course of my life and my career.
And I just thought genes were my destiny, right? We all end up to think it's in our genes. We're destined to have diabetes or high cholesterol or heart conditions. But then once I looked at lifestyle side of things beyond just the nutrition is when I was fully able to get off of everything.
You mentioned you were diabetic, full-blown diabetic. Do we have A1C comparisons? Do we know how that changed?
Yes. My A1C was 7.1 when I started. And the last check, I believe it was 4.6. You're going to be a type 2 diabetic. It's like, bruh, I already was a type 2 diabetic. I'm not anymore. He's like, you have reversed your type 2 diabetes, is what he told me.
It's better than 99% of the population at 4.6. I mean,
Yes.
you have clearly a non-diabetic hemoglobin A1C.
Let's say like in the 90s, if you were a type 1, you would be told by the nurses, there's an exchange system. You can have this kind of food or that kind of food. We don't have sugar. Now the kids are encouraged. That's what insulin's for. We don't want you to change your diet. You eat like everybody else. There's even a phrase like kids first, diabetes second, they say.
When you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in the 1940s, what was the life expectancy of a type 1 diabetic back then?
I think they gave you 30 years from the time of diagnosis. But they also warned me that after 20 years, you would not be able to have any children. And my fourth one was born when my wife was 40 and she was 3 years younger than I. So I was 43.
Some of the critics will say that, well, you're just masking the symptoms. You haven't fixed diabetes. And what I often see, and I've seen this before, is, the things we're worried about with diabetes, the blindness, the retinopathy, the vascular problems, those two get better with this. I've seen people reverse their diabetic retinopathy. I've seen people improve their cardiovascular system.
I would say if you read the journal Diabetes Care or the journal Diabetes, both ADA journals, you'll see an article showing the damage to the brain of people with diabetes. And what they're doing is they're attributing the damage to the brain to the diabetes. They don't necessarily look at the hemoglobin A1C or the average blood sugar. They're just saying, we just found another discovery of another form of damage to the brain caused by diabetes.